What if something you do in private, something millions of men do every day, was silently affecting your prostate health, for better or worse? Some men swear it helps them sleep better, stay relaxed, and even protect against prostate problems. Others worry it might disrupt hormones or cause hidden damage. The truth? It's not black and white. There are real biological changes happening behind the scenes, and if you're over 40, you'll want to understand all three. Hi there, I'm Dr. William Harris, and welcome back to Senior Health Boost, where we explore evidence-based strategies to help men stay strong, sharp, and healthy after 40. Today's topic might make you raise an eyebrow, but trust me, it's one that deserves serious attention. Let's talk openly about daily masturbation and its impact on the prostate. Yes, I know it's a private subject, but whether we talk about it or not, many men over the age of 40 engage in this habit regularly. Some see it as a harmless outlet. Others believe it actually supports male health by relieving tension, balancing hormones, or even preventing prostate enlargement. But here's the question that lingers quietly in many minds. Could doing this every single day actually harm my prostate over time? It sounds like a simple yes or no question, but the answer lies in a set of complex biological responses that most men, and frankly, most doctors, rarely explain clearly. To get the full picture, we have to start by understanding one very important organ, the prostate gland. It's small, about the size of a walnut, and sits just below your bladder. But don't let its size fool you. This gland plays a central role in semen production, sexual function, urinary health, and pelvic comfort. When it's functioning well, you hardly notice it, but if it becomes congested, inflamed, or enlarged, it can seriously affect your daily life. Now, over the years, I've worked with hundreds of men struggling with prostate discomfort, pressure in the lower abdomen, a weak urine stream, or that frustrating urge to go even after you've just emptied your bladder. Often these symptoms creep up slowly, and by the time they're serious, it's already a challenge to reverse them. That's why in this video we're going to break it down simply and clearly. You'll learn about 3 specific biological changes that occur in the prostate when you masturbate on a daily basis. Each one is based on well-established medical science and years of clinical experience, not myths or internet rumors. And pay close attention to the third change. It's one most men have never heard of, but it could explain why some men feel chronic heaviness in the pelvis even when their test results come back normal. So if you're in your 40s, 50s, or beyond and want to stay in control of your prostate health, stick with me. And hey, if you're new to Senior Health Boost, be sure to hit subscribe and turn on notifications. This is where we talk about real, practical ways to optimize men's health. No fluff, no judgment. Also, if you've ever had questions about this topic or have insights from personal experience, leave a comment below. You're not alone, and we always welcome respectful, open-minded conversation in this community. Now, let's get into the science. Because to answer this question accurately, we can't rely on gut feelings or cultural taboos. We need to look at how the body actually responds physiologically, not emotionally, when this habit becomes a daily routine. Let's start with part 2. The 3 biological mechanisms that are impacted by daily masturbation and how they affect your prostate long-term. Previously, we explored how a simple daily habit, often overlooked or kept private, can cause real biological changes in a man's prostate over time. Now, let's go a step deeper with a real-life case that truly shows how these principles play out in someone's everyday health. Let me introduce you to David. David was 65 when he first came to see me. A tough, hard-working man, he'd spent decades as a construction site supervisor under the blazing sun of Nevada. The kind of man who rarely missed a day of work, rarely visited the doctor, and often prided himself on pushing through whatever came his way. But now, something felt off. He sat down in my office with a tired look on his face and said, "Doc, I just don't feel like myself anymore." David explained that for the last 2 or 3 years, he'd been getting up several times during the night to urinate. He always felt like he hadn't fully emptied his bladder, and there was a persistent, dull discomfort in his lower belly that never quite went away. Not pain exactly, just a heavy, nagging presence that seemed to follow him around. He told me that he used to be incredibly healthy. He hardly ever got sick and rarely worried about his body. But lately, things had changed. He was more sluggish, more irritable, and he felt, in his words, like something inside me is slowing down. When I asked about his sexual health and patterns of ejaculation, he hesitated at first. He looked down, then admitted something I hear from many men his age. After I turned 55, I figured that part of life was behind me. I stopped being sexually active, even with my partner. It just felt awkward, unnecessary. He told me he hadn't ejaculated in nearly a decade. Let me be clear, David is far from alone in this. Many men in their 50s, 60s, and beyond begin to withdraw from sexual activity, not because of medical issues, but because of embarrassment, cultural stigma, or the belief that it's no longer appropriate or necessary. But the body doesn't work that way. After a physical exam and a detailed ultrasound of the prostate, we uncovered some early signs of trouble. His prostate was mildly enlarged, his PSA, prostate-specific antigen, levels were elevated above normal, and the gland tissue itself showed signs of low-grade inflammation and irregular texture. Nothing life-threatening, but clear signs that something needed to change. So, we developed a plan. First, we made small but consistent adjustments. A bit of light exercise daily, more hydration throughout the day, nutritional support using prostate-healthy supplements, and perhaps most importantly, David committed to reintroducing regular ejaculation, just 1 to 2 times per week, based on how his body felt. I remember him raising his eyebrows. "Really? That's part of the treatment?" Yes, it absolutely was. 4 months later, the transformation was obvious, not just in lab numbers, but in David's confidence. His PSA levels dropped slightly. His nighttime urination was cut in half. That dull abdominal heaviness was gone. But even more powerful than the physical changes was his emotional shift. I never imagined something this simple could change both my body and my mindset so much, he told me. His posture had changed. He looked people in the eye again. And for the first time in years, he spoke openly about his health, without shame or hesitation. David's story is not unusual. In fact, I see this pattern all the time with men between 50 and 70. They either stop paying attention to this part of their life entirely, or they don't understand what the right frequency is for their age and condition. They're either avoiding the habit completely or overdoing it without giving their body the recovery time it needs. So the next logical question becomes, "Doctor, how often should I actually be doing this?" Let's talk honestly about that. There's no single magic number that fits every man. Your ideal frequency depends on your age, overall health, hormone levels, and how well your body bounces back after each ejaculation. But based on clinical observations, research, and guidance from leading urologists, we can offer a general framework. Recommended ejaculation frequency by age group men, ages 40-49. At this stage, testosterone levels are still strong, and the prostate is generally resilient. 3 to 4 times per week is a healthy, manageable rhythm for most men. This helps maintain proper hormone flow, supports emotional balance, and keeps the gland functioning well, provided you're not feeling run down afterward. Men ages 50-59. Here's where the balance starts to shift. Testosterone begins. To dip in recovery takes a little longer. 2 to 3 times per week is usually appropriate. But listen to your body. If you start to feel fatigued, notice increased urinary issues, or feel pelvic tightness, take a step back. Moderation is your ally here. Men ages 60 and over. By the time you're in your 60s or beyond, the goal changes. It's less about frequency and more about consistency. Once a week is often enough to keep circulation flowing, reduce fluid buildup in the prostate, and support immune cleansing. If your libido is still active and you feel strong afterward, twice a week is acceptable, but avoid back-to-back days or overexertion. The number one rule here? Stay consistent. Don't go weeks or months without any activity, and don't push your body beyond what it can comfortably recover from. Think of this habit like any other health-supporting behavior, like walking or stretching. It needs to be balanced, intentional, and part of a larger rhythm that includes good sleep, hydration, nutrition, and rest. You see, what we're aiming for isn't sexual performance or pleasure alone, it's prostate maintenance. Biological, circulation, hormonal balance, emotional wellness. All of these are deeply interconnected, and if you've ever experienced that vague sense of pressure, heaviness, or discomfort down there, and your test results come back normal, then the real issue might be functional, not structural. A neglected gland can still cause symptoms even without visible damage. By gently stimulating the prostate through regular, measured ejaculation, you help clear out cellular waste, improve circulation, regulate immune activity, and support tissue elasticity, which helps prevent hardening or congestion over time. So whether you're doing it with a partner or solo, understand this. It's not just a private act. It's a form of maintenance. Coming up next, we'll take this conversation one step further and explore how lifestyle factors like diet, stress, and sleep interact with your prostate health just as powerfully as your sexual habits, because true men's health isn't about just fixing problems when they arise. It's about building systems that support you every single day. Ready to keep learning? Let's move on to Part 3, where we dive into the hidden daily habits that influence your hormone balance and prostate longevity. Now that we've discussed the biological rhythms and recommended frequencies, let's take a step back and look at what truly holds most men back from caring for their prostate health, because honestly, the biggest obstacle isn't physical, it's psychological. The truth is, most men don't lack information, they lack comfort. Comfort in talking about things that feel sensitive, personal, even taboo. We've built a society where topics like aging, sexual activity, and prostate function are often swept under the rug, especially once you cross a certain age. Somewhere around 50, many men begin to feel like they're supposed to stop thinking about this part of life. They start to feel like it's inappropriate or not masculine or somehow wrong to even bring it up. And because of that silence, many men stop taking care of one of the most important glands in their entire body. Let me be perfectly clear. Masturbating or staying sexually active after 50 is not wrong. It's not shameful, and it's certainly not something you need to hide. You wouldn't feel awkward about brushing your teeth or exercising to stay in shape, right? Then why feel ashamed about something that keeps your prostate functioning, your hormones balanced, and your immune health supported? Yet time and time again I meet patients who silently suffer, not because they didn't know what was going wrong, but because they felt too embarrassed to ask. Some of them knew they had discomfort. They felt the symptoms. They noticed the shifts in energy, mood, or urination patterns. But instead of seeking guidance, they just accepted it as part of getting old. And that's where we go wrong. Ejaculation, whether with a partner or alone, isn't something that ends at 50, 60, or 70. It's a basic part of male health maintenance, just like healthy eating, regular stretching, or sleeping well. In fact, once men shift their mindset and begin to view this as a normal, healthy, and important routine, things start to change. For real, they become more proactive, more confident, more attuned to what their body is telling them, and perhaps most importantly, they stop feeling like they need to justify their health needs to anyone else. What I hope you take away from this video isn't just a number. It isn't just a tip about how many times per week. It's something far deeper. It's awareness. Awareness that your prostate needs care. Awareness that discomfort is not weakness. Awareness that just because something is private doesn't mean it should be ignored. Because when you give your body what it truly needs, at the right time, in the right way, and consistently, you don't just stay healthy. You stay free. So here's what I want you to do next. Leave a comment below. Let me know your age group and what questions or concerns you've had about men's health or prostate wellness. This is a safe, respectful space, and your input helps guide future content. If you found today's information helpful, click the like button. It lets us know you value these deep, no-nonsense conversations. And most importantly, subscribe to Senior Health Boost and turn on the notification bell. Because in upcoming videos, we'll be diving even deeper into topics that matter most to your long-term vitality, like hormone balance, sleep optimization, pelvic floor support, and more. We're building a powerful community here, one that believes in aging with strength, with wisdom, and with dignity, because taking care of your body isn't just for the young. It's for those who want to stay sharp, strong, and self-aware at every stage of life. Thank you for watching. I'm Dr. William Harris, and this is Senior Health Boost. I'll see you in the next video.